Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we are exploring a massive paradigm shift that's happening right now in the world of software development. We're looking at the evolution of CI/CD, the rise of continuous AI, and specifically how GitHub Agentic workflows are totally transforming the way we think about repository automation. So if you've ever felt completely bogged down by the endless chores of maintaining a codebase, well, you are absolutely in the right place. I want you to imagine something for just a second. Imagine opening up your repository in the morning and feeling entirely calm. While you were sleeping, new bug reports were automatically triaged and labeled. A CI failure from a late-night commit was investigated, and get this, a targeted fix was already proposed. Your docs automatically updated to reflect the latest code changes. And waiting for your review are 2 brand new pull requests that actually improve your test coverage. Now, I know it sounds like science fiction, but as we'll see today, it's actually happening right now. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start off with the continuous AI era, and then look at why Actions fits AI so well. After that, we'll cover agentic workflows in practice, GitHub models and automation, and Copilot for action debugging. Finally, we'll wrap up with a look at the future of automation. All right, Section 1, the continuous AI era, moving beyond deterministic CI/CD. Now, it's really important to establish right out of the gate that AI is not here to replace your existing deterministic build, test, or release pipelines. I mean, we rely on those workflows because they do exactly what we tell them to do every single time. But what about all those subjective, repetitive chores that traditional CI/CD just struggles to express? Well, that is exactly where continuous AI steps in to augment your development lifecycle. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift. Instead of just running a simple pass-fail unit test, we're talking about continuous triage, where an agent automatically reads a new issue, summarizes the context, and routes it to the right team. We're looking at continuous documentation, making sure your README actually matches the code you just merged. It can repeatedly comb through your repo for code simplification opportunities, or assess your coverage and just add high-value tests. It can even generate daily or weekly health reports on your repository metrics. Basically, these agents act as tireless assistants handling the messy, human-like chores for you.
Moving right along to Section 2, why Actions fits AI, the perfect execution layer.
Now, you might be wondering, where exactly do these AI agents live and run? Well, the answer is GitHub Actions. It turns out the exact same platform you use to build your Docker images is uniquely positioned to run these new intelligent workflows. GitHub's senior solutions engineer, Austin Stone, puts it perfectly. He says, Actions isn't just your CI/CD pipeline. It's the execution layer for the agentic era. And you might not even realize it, but Actions already powers major AI features on the platform, like Copilot Code Review and the Copilot Coding Agent. Actions is literally the compute substrate for the platform, which means you can build on the exact same layer using the exact same event triggers and security models.
But why do large language models interact so incredibly well with Actions? First off, Actions has the largest usage base of any CI platform. That means AI models have seen way more Actions YAML than any other CI system, which naturally results in vastly better generated output. Second, Actions are kind of like Lego bricks. They're highly composable with very clear interfaces, making it super easy for an LLM to reason about the inputs and outputs. Third, by utilizing reusable workflows and the 20,000 plus pre-built blocks in the Actions marketplace, you achieve incredible token efficiency. You save so much processing power when an agent just calls a pre-built action instead of trying to write 20 lines of inline shell script. And finally, it uses a secure repo-centric permission model by default, which keeps agent experimentation within very safe boundaries.
And when we talk about execution, we really have to talk about where the compute happens. Because when you're letting autonomous, non-deterministic agents write and run code, infrastructure really matters. Just look at this contrast. Self-hosted runners maintain a persistent attack surface. If an agent hallucinated or accidentally pulled a compromised package, well, that runner stays on your network, sharing state with the next job. But GitHub-hosted runners, they're ephemeral. They provide a fresh, network-isolated VM for every single job, and then they're destroyed immediately after. It's a clean slate every single time. Plus, while self-hosted runners have all these hidden total costs of ownership, like paying platform teams to manage idle compute and respond to 2 a.m. incidents, GitHub-hosted runners provide an all-inclusive buffet setup with literally zero maintenance.
Okay, let's jump to Section 3, Agentic Workflows in Practice, Intent-Driven Markdown Automation.
So this brings a massive shift in how we actually approach coding. Instead of writing perfect YAML syntax, you're now focusing on describing your goals and desired outcomes in plain English. But before you just let an agent loose in your repository, you really need to understand how we maintain control. So the crucial point here is understanding safe outputs. By default, these agentic workflows run with strictly read-only permissions. They cannot just overwrite your code base on a whim. No way. If they want to make a change, they must use a safe output, which maps to a pre-approved reviewable GitHub operation like opening a pull request or drafting an issue comment. This means a human always stays in the loop to explicitly approve the final right action. It's basically defense in depth security.
And creating one of these workflows is incredibly straightforward. First, you just write your desired intent in a plain Markdown file. You explain exactly what you want the agent to do. For example, checking that all technical documentation is written for a 10th grade reading level. Next, you use the GitHub CLI to compile that Markdown into a YAML file. And finally, you just commit and push both files into your .github/workflows directory, and just like that, the whole shebang is done. You've brought the power of a coding agent directly into the absolute heart of your repository automation.
Next up is Section 4, GitHub Models and Automation, bringing AI into the workflow. Now, what if you don't actually need a fully autonomous agent, but you just want to inject specific AI capabilities into your traditional workflows? Well, GitHub Models lets you do exactly that. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it allows you to perfectly match the right AI model to specific repository events to automate your daily chores. For instance, when an issue is opened, you can trigger a lightweight model like Mistral to check if the user provided enough information to reproduce the bug. If they didn't, the AI just automatically replies asking for environment details. Or when a pull request is merged and closed, you could use Grok to instantly summarize the code changes into a single user-facing release note. Or maybe on a weekly cron schedule, you could have GPT-4o analyze all the issues opened over the last 7 days, pull out general themes, and generate a prioritized weekly report for your maintainers. It really just scales your processes effortlessly.
All right, Section 5, Copilot for Action Debugging, Finding the Needle in the YAML Haystack.
We've talked a lot about building workflows, but anyone who writes CI/CD knows that things, well, they inevitably break. And when they do, troubleshooting can be incredibly painful. I mean, we've all been there, right? You push a commit and the workflow fails. And then you're left staring at thousands of lines of terminal output, desperately trying to find the one missing dependency, the syntax error, or the mismatched environment variable. Honestly, digging through those failed workflow logs is just a massive, frustrating drain on developer productivity.
But Copilot changes this entirely. Here's the new debugging flow. When a workflow job fails, a new Explain Error button pops up right in the GitHub Actions interface. When you click it, Copilot doesn't just look at a generic error message, it analyzes the entire context of your workflow, your repository structure, and common patterns. For example, during a live demo, developer Mickey Gousset had a failing build step purely because he accidentally typed npm build instead of npm run build in his YAML file. Instead of spending 20 minutes pulling his hair out, Copilot instantly highlighted the exact syntax error and provided the root cause fix. It is literally like having an experienced platform engineer looking right over your shoulder.
Let's move to Section 6, the future of automation, guardrails for the autonomous agent. Let's see how this all builds together, because this is the overarching thesis you really need to take away from our explainer today. AI does not replace CI/CD. Actually, scratch that. It's more like because AI agents are inherently non-deterministic, because they experiment, they make judgment calls, and write code on their own, you absolutely must have strong deterministic CI/CD wrapped around them. Your unit tests, your linting, your security scanning, and your deployment gates, those are the safety net. Strong CI/CD is the essential guardrail layer that makes continuous AI safe enough to actually trust. The better your deterministic pipelines are, the more autonomy you can safely grant to your AI agents. Which leaves us with this final thought. We are entering an era where you can finally hand off the repetitive, subjective drudgery of repository maintenance to intelligent automation. You can reclaim your time to focus on actual feature development and, the innovation you actually want to be doing. So I'll leave you with this question. What chores will you delegate to your agents today? Thanks for joining me on this journey, and happy automating.